right, so just before this video gets started, clearly I'm recording this after, but I just want to say, if you guys do end up liking this video, drop a like down below. And if you guys want to see some more of this type of content from me, I upload pretty much every single day. Drop a sub. I also wanted to say once again, thank you for all the support recently. Like I said, we are halfway to my first goal I have, which is 10 subs, and I just want to say thank you. I did say yesterday that I wanted to replay through Halo, and I think I'm going to start that journey today. I'm not going to lie. I'm feeling it. I'm really feeling it. So I'm probably not going to make this a series, by the way. My bad. But as much as I would like to make this a series, I don't see the point in it, in all honesty with you. Most people probably don't want to see it as a series anyway, so I'm just not. But I decided to look back on the last month, because I've been uploading consistently for a month now, and I was like, you know what? I want to see what's been going on. Like, have I improved at all? Have I done anything different? And my God, my videos used to suck, huh? Like, there's no other way to describe it. They just suck. They were really bad. Oh yeah, cool little Easter egg. You can see the skull if you have the skull helmet. I think that's pretty cool. Actually, another little, I guess, like, fun fact, because Bungie used to record the cutscenes and stuff in-engine, like in-game, I did recently find out that's a Bungie dev driving that Warthog. Yeah, I was watching my old videos back just to see how different my videos are now, because, like, fundamentally they're the same thing. But I think something that a lot of people tend to misunderstand is, like, this game, you know the ending if you know Halo. Like, you know the ending. You've already lost when you load the game up, but witnessing the journey firsthand is something completely different. Like, each mission turning into sort of like, I don't know how to put it, but like the missions tell the story even without knowing the context. Like, without context, you can really feel the weight of what you're doing, if that makes sense. Like, the first mission, this one, is basically setting up what's happening. The second mission being sword-based, you're like, oh, okay, cool. You know, we took down a ship and we did all this, we did all that, and we're fighting back and we're not losing yet, right? And then you get into the third mission, which is Nightfall, and you realize that the Covenant are becoming this larger issue, right? Fourth mission, Tip of the Spear, you take the fight back to them, and in a moment you're winning. You got rid of their spire, and you feel like you're on top of the world, and then the frigate gets downed by this massive super carrier, and you realize the fight is a lot larger than you originally imagined. And then in Long Night of Solace, you know, you take the fight back to them. And in that same mission, I feel like you really learn also Datapad Elite right there. I feel like the Long Night of Solace mission for a lot of people is where they realize, like, this is big. Because George sacrificing himself with the knowledge of Halsey is dead. He's willing to die for the planet if it means that he basically gives himself back to Reach, because obviously Reach is his home. You realize that George's death was sort of in vain in some aspects. Also, this is where you would do your first trick, by the way, if you were speedrunning the game. You go up there, and then you go across here. I'm not going to be doing pretty much any speedrun tricks outside of maybe a couple. So, like, this mission, I'm not going to grab the plasma pistol to get the Falcon and all that. I'm just going to play through the mission. Mostly just because I think it'll be more fun that way. But I feel like that's the mission that you get a sense that it's not like the fight for Reach is going to be a lot more spent, and I think it's important to acknowledge that that mission is the turning point of we're kind of winning slash it's not super lost yet into it is over, and at this point we are just playing the long game of protecting as many people as we can, getting as many people off of the planet, because it's basically gone, because the entire Covenant armada, like the entire Covenant fleet, is pulling up. And then obviously Exodus is my favorite mission in the game. I love that mission with every fiber of my being. I think that Exodus is the mission a lot of people start to realize that it is truly over, but you're doing your job of getting as many people to safety as you possibly can. Captivates you in a way that the previous Halo games obviously implied but never really showed, and that was truly how many people are dying throughout the Halo game. And I think it's a really important mission to showcase that not everyone can fight back against the Covenant, and I think that showing that not everyone can fight back is very important, because up to this point you got to remember that the Halo games were almost exclusively you playing as Master Chief, and you never lost. Like, you had times where you were down but you were never out. And I think with Reach, it is the exact opposite of that. I think that with Reach, you are down and you have lost, and at this point you are just trying to recover as much as you can. And that's all there is to it. I think Exodus is like a necessary mission for this game to have as much impact as it does. New Alexandria, like I said, you've already lost and you know it, and you especially feel it when the glassing starts to happen. I will say the glassing of New Alexandria is one of the most beautiful and cinematic looking pieces in the entirety of Halo, and I stand by that. It is a gorgeous set piece in a very troubling experience, if that makes sense. Like, it's necessary to show it the same way that you have to really give it the emphasis that it is an impactful thing, if that makes sense, right? Like, if the glassing didn't look as beautiful and as artistic as it does, I think the weight of it would have been lost almost immediately, and no one really would have cared or been alarmed by it. And obviously it wasn't the first time that they've shown glassing in a Halo game. Obviously there was Halo 2, and then I don't remember if it was in a cutscene or not, but in Halo 3 they do glass the area around, I believe, is it Africa? I believe they glass it to secure the flood containment. I don't remember if they ended up showing it, but I think Halo Reach's glassing moment is incredibly beautiful, and I could talk about that mission forever. I used to be someone that actually really didn't like New Alexandria, to be honest with you. I used to hate that mission. Like, when I was younger, I hated it, and now as I've gotten older, I've realized it is such a good mission. It's one of the best missions in Halo for me because of how beautifully tragic it is, especially the ending where once again another Spartan is dead. That's another thing that I don't believe any other Halo game up to this point had shown, was a dead Spartan. Mostly because Bungie's ideology when CE came out was you're the last Spartan, and they obviously, you know, as the series went on, that kind of ceased to exist, but that's just a product of like early development and all that, so I can't really blame them for that. That's something that I've kind of come to terms with, is like New Alexandria is one of my favorite missions in Halo. I love that mission, and I've loved that mission for years now, but man, I used to, like I said, I used to be a hater of that shit. One mission I will say I don't particularly enjoy, but I understand why it's in the game, and it is a necessary mission, 100%, is the package, and that's the next mission after New Alexandria. That mission from like a story standpoint is incredible, and I love it. But one thing that I do admit is it is a bit of a marathon in terms of how long it goes, how much you end up fighting at the end, and I like firefight for sure, but especially on higher difficulties like Legendary Lasso, that mission back half of it is a bit of a drag, but it, like I said, it is a necessary, what sort of effort you need to put in to basically just win whatever you can. You're winning by allowing someone else's goal to further push you ahead. Does that make sense? And then obviously Pillar of Autumn. Pillar of Autumn, I love that they named it that as well, because the end of Bungie's tenure of making Halo games ends with where they began, which is the Pillar of Autumn. It's incredible. The symbolism, the deliberate name choice, the mission itself is just, not gonna lie, I did not mean to skip that cutscene. That's my bad. But the name choice is deliberate. The mission itself is fucking beautifully crafted. You know, it is an insane mission, and it's so good. It is one of the best Halo missions. It really doesn't feel like there's another way of describing that mission other than that it is just beautifully made. It is beautiful. It is truly showing you the desperation of finishing the mission that you have been set upon. This is another mission that a lot of people I see mixed opinions on. I don't particularly think any mission in this game is bad. I think all of the missions in this game are good. I think that there are some that are worse than others, but so the old strat is you run up here, smack him in the ass, throw a nade here. The other problem is I don't have skulls on, so I don't get my shield back if he does that. So all right, third time's a charm, surely. If it doesn't, I'll go back, throw a nade here, do a little cleanup crew, and then we grab this and we aim it right there. I should have aimed it a little bit more forward, I'm pretty sure, now that I'm looking at it. But yeah, it's not a super... Well, actually, here, we could spin it back. We're going to aim it a little more forward now. So right here, that's where they're going to pile up, right? Yeah, there you go. So you can see why that's a really good strat, but it is not consistent at all. Maybe I'll make a video, like, the first day I play each of these games, and then I'll explain my deeper thoughts of each game individually, I think. That would be pretty cool. Like I said, I could talk about this game's story, the messages, and everything in it for years. You know what I mean? It's incredible. The reason that this strat is also not super consistent either is you're gonna have an issue where you don't get that ghost every time because you don't have a plasma pistol, it just overcharges. So some advice here is if you kill all of the grunts in this area, there's another one in there and I needed to peek. Like that. If you kill them all, what'll end up happening is the elites are just gonna either run at you like idiots or they're gonna leave you alone. So we have this grunt right here, and now look at this, they just funnel out. You can run them over if you need to, and then we just hit the gun from below and you just leave. It's great. Like I said, normally people now don't even do that thing I did at the start. So don't hit that, don't hit that, don't hit the ghost, please. If you get the ghost over here, you can just go to the door and you don't have to fight anything in here. One thing I will say is I'm glad I'm fighting the hunters in this game and not, honestly, 4 or 5 in Infinite, because the AI in those games for these fuckers are terrible. One thing I will say is I think certain missions I'll make videos on. I'll make certain videos on certain missions, but I don't think overall I'm gonna do that. If the demand is there, I'll happily make this a series. Okay, we're gonna try something. I haven't done this in a very long time. This is a really good cutscene, by the way. Here we are. Obviously, Carter's the leader of Noble Team and all that, but Halsey does not like the Spartan 3s. I shouldn't say dislikes them, but she has a negative feeling towards the Spartan 3s because they're not hers, if that makes sense. That's why she talks to George in this cutscene. That took a little longer than it should have because I was kind of dicking around with some old things I haven't really done in a while. But I'm gonna end this video here. If you guys did end up liking this video, drop a like down below. And if you guys want to see some more of this type of content from me, I upload pretty much every single day. Drop a sub. Like I said, I'll probably do that thing where I mentioned that I was going to record specific missions. So I guess the timeline would be I'll do Exodus in a video, Pillar of Autumn in a video. I'll probably do New Alexandria and Exodus together, actually. And then I'll do Pillar of Autumn. And then for Halo 1, I'm going to do Pillar of Autumn and Halo. Probably Guilty Spark in 2 Betrayals and Maw. And then Halo 2, I'll do Cairo, Outskirts. I don't know. I'd have to figure that one out. I'd have to look at all the missions and stuff. But anyway, I'm going to keep playing some of this. And the next video you should see will be on Exodus New Alexandria. So I will see you all then. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all later.